Dear students, this is Lakshman Shirod. Today I am going to discuss one important chapter in second PUC, that is moving charges and magnetism. Already we have studied that electricity. So what is the electricity? It is the branch of physics which deals with the study of the charges. So here this electricity is dividing into the two branches. One is electrostatics and another one is electrodynamics. So here electrostatic is the branch of the electricity and which deals with the study of charge at rest. Charge at rest. So here we can study in this electrostatics force, electric field and potential arising due to the charge at rest. So what is the electrodynamics? So it is the branch of the electricity, or you can call that is a physics, which deals with the study of the electric charges in motion. Electric charges in motion. With the details of this electrostatics and electrodynamics we have studied in a chapter 1 and chapter 2, that is electric charges and field, and another one the important chapter current electricity. We have studied everything in the this electrostatics and electrodynamics about the electricity. So similarly we can study the another one of the main important concept of magnetism. So here electricity and magnetism both are interrelated. So we have observed from some of the experimental demonstration. So we'll discuss everything in this class. So here what is the magnetism? It is the branch of physics which deals with the study of the about the magnets, so that is gives the magnetism. So here this magnetism is also dividing into the two branches. One is magnetostatics and another one is magnetodynamics. So here the magnetostatics is the branch of magnetism which deals with the study of motion of a charges, or it may be called as motion of charge particle. So we are studying the magnetism in terms of motion of charge, or a moving charge, we can call that is a moving charges. So here the current is not varying with the time. The current is not varying with the time. So what is the magnetodynamics? So here we can study in terms of moving charges, but the current is varying with varying with the time. So here we can use the AC current and here we can use the DC current. So this is the introduction of this magnetism and electricity. So in this class we are focusing on this topic, that is nothing but the magnetism. It means moving charges is not varying with the that current with the time, so that is gives the magnetism. So magnetostatics. So here the electricity in earlier days, electricity and magnetism is the different subjects. It means were treated as a different subject, these two, this of electricity and magnetism, so treated as a different subject. And electricity is deals with the charges and magnetism is deals with the magnets. So in the year of 1820, in the year of 1820, one of the scientists, Hans Christian Oersted, showed that the relation between electricity and magnetism. He showed that a relation between electricity and magnetism. He showed that a current carrying conductor. He showed that a current carrying conductor is experiences a magnetic field around it. Experiences a magnetic field around it. Everything the demonstration will see in this class. And here another one of the scientists, Ampere also supported for this theory, to saying that the electric charges in motion produces a magnetic field. Saying that electric charges in motion produces a magnetic field. And so another one of the scientists, Michael Faraday, Michael Faraday showed that moving magnets or changing the magnetic field produces a current. So here he showed that the vice versa, it means the relation between the magnetic field and a electric current. So here he changed the magnetic field and he observed in the galvanometer and he got a changes in the that current. So he showed that the magnetic fields are changed, then the electricity is going to be produced. So, and by using this concept, one of the scientists, unified the laws of electricity. Maxwell unified the laws of electricity and magnetism. So he developed the common field that is electromagnetism. Electromagnetism. So we all are around this electromagnetic fields only. We all are surrounded by these electromagnetic fields. So this is the introduction of this moving charges and magnetism. Let us now see the effect magnetic effect of electric current of electric current. So what is the magnetic effect of electric current? So when current is passed through the conductor, when current is passed through the conductor, so the magnetic field is produces around it. The magnetic field is produces around it. This is this is known as magnetic effect of electric current. So this was demonstrated by the H.C. Oersted. This was demonstrated by the H.C. Oersted. So now we will see the Oersted experiment. In the year of 1820, Hans Christian Ørsted performed the experiment, performed the one simple experiment to demonstrate the relation between the electricity and magnetism. So he considered a magnetic needle. So let us will draw here a diagram. See here, he considered a magnetic needle S and N which is rotated freely about vertical axis in horizontal plane, and let A be the conductor, current carrying conductor, which is held over the magnetic needle parallel to it. So, and when a current is passed through this conductor in this direction, when current is passed through conductor from A to B, n fold of the magnetic needle is deflects. N fold of the magnetic fold is deflects towards the east, towards the sorry here towards the west, and then south fold is deflects towards the east. And then now here he changed it, means here the current carrying conductor is experiences that magnetic field. Due to that magnetic field, the needle is going to be deflect. And now what he done, he changed the direction of the current. So when he changed the direction of the current, so in that time what will happen in the magnetic needle? Now current is moving from B to A, so the magnetic needle of the N fold is deflects towards the east, and south fold is deflects towards the west. So from this experiment, it means if the current direction is changed or reversed, the direction of the deflection of the needle is also changes. It means it is changes in the opposite direction. So the deflection is increases. If I increase the current, see here, the current is I. Now if I increase the current as a 2I, then the deflection of that needle is also increases. Otherwise, if you took this needle towards this current carrying conductor, so then what will happen? In that time also we'll get the more deflection in the magnetic needle. So when the current in a wire is stopped, when the current is not moving through the wire, in that time what will happen? The needle is comes to back its initial states. So this is demonstrated by the Ørsted, Hans Christian Ørsted. So whenever the current is passed through the conductor, the magnetic field is produces around it. This is known as a magnetic effect of electric current. So here we can define by using this concept, that is a magnetic field. By using this concept we can define the magnetic field. So here the magnetism, in magnetism we can define the magnetic field, that is a space surrounded in a magnet, or a space surrounded a magnet. We'll take this is considered as a magnet here. If we consider this magnet, and then if we took this magnetic needle towards this magnet, then what will happen? Some of the force is experienced by this magnet. So that is gives the magnetic field. So how will you define here? We'll define this magnetic field, the space surrounding space surrounding a magnet in which another magnet experiences a force, is called as a magnetic field. We know that the static charges are produces a electric field, and but the moving charges are produces a magnetic field. Thus the moving charges are responsible for the produce producing a magnetic field. From this experiment, we can understand the current carrying conductor is experiences the magnetic field, but how much magnetic field is produces we don't know. So to know the that value, or to know the that magnitude of the that magnetic field, so we have to study the another one of the concept, that is Biot-Savart's law. So by the two scientists Biot and Savart. Biot and Savart, by the two scientists, we have to find the sorry they showed the how to find the magnetic field whenever the current is moving in a conductor. So now we'll see the next concept is that Biot-Savart's law. To prove this law, we need a current carrying conductor. So I will take here one of the infinite current carrying conductor here. And now here this conductor is infinite. So therefore this infinite conductor is carrying a current I. And here if the current is moving through the conductor, then the magnetic field is produced around this conductor. So one of the arbitrary point will find the magnetic field. Any arbitrary point will find the magnetic field. But we cannot find the complete magnetic field directly here. So let us will consider, or let us will divide this infinite conductor in different parts, in equal parts. We can take here equal parts. So we'll consider one of the small element from these equal parts. So first we'll find the magnetic field for this equal part, for this small element, and then later what we'll do, we'll add up all the values, or we will integrate the that value to the that complete magnetic field. We'll find the magnetic field. So let us consider here small element, and then we'll draw one of the position vector from the small element to the point of P. We'll consider where we are going to find the magnetic field, that is point P. So this is nothing but the dl. So small element we have taken, that is dl, and the position vector is r. So now here this magnetic field, the magnitude of this magnetic field due to the dl, whatever the magnetic field is produces, that is a dB. So this dB is not only depend on the current carrying the conductor, it is depends on different parameters. So let us see the what are the parameters the magnetic field is depends. So first what we'll do, we are passing the current through that conductor, then the what will produces, the magnetic field is produces. So therefore if the current is I equals to 0, then what is the magnetic field? Magnetic field is also 0. If the current is flowing through it means if we increase the current, then what will happen in the magnetic field? So magnetic field is also increases. And similarly if I increase the 2 times of the current in the conductor, and in the magnetic field is also increase as in the 2 times. So similarly if you are goes on increasing the current, so likewise the magnetic field is goes on increases. It means the first parameter is that the current is directly proportional to the, or a magnetic field is directly proportional to the current. So that is dB only. The magnitude of magnetic field is directly proportional to the current. Now we'll see the second one. So what is that? We are considering the infinite length of the wire from here to here, infinite length of the wire. So in that infinite length of the wire, we are taking a small element of dl. From this dl, we will get the accuracy of that dB. It means the accuracy of the that magnetic field. But if we are increasing the dl to the to dl, it means if I am increasing from here to up to here, if I consider the dl as a 2dl, so then what will happen in the magnetic field? So here if we are increasing the dl to 2dl, so therefore the flow of the charges is increases. So here the current is increased in the this portion, so therefore the magnetic field is also increases. The magnetic field is also increases. So therefore the magnetic field is directly proportional to the that dl. And now we'll see the third parameter. So that is, if we are increasing the distance between the dl to the point where we are going to find the magnetic field, so if I increase this distance, then what will happen in the magnetic field? Increases or decreases? So now instead of taking here, if I took the magnetic field is at this position, so then what will happen here? The magnetic field is decreases. So the Biot-Savart's law is obeys the that inverse square law. Therefore the magnitude of magnetic field is directly proportional to the 1 by r square, or inversely proportional to the r square. It means here if I increase the distance from 1 meter to 2 meter between the current element to the point of P, so therefore what will happen in the magnetic field? It is going to be decreased as a 4 times. The magnetic field is goes to decrease in the form of 4 times. So this is the third parameter. And next one is there, that is this dB is depends on the dB is, it means the magnetic field is depends on the angle between the dl and position factor r. Angle between the dl and position factor r. So therefore here dB is directly proportional to the sine of theta. Sine of theta. So from all these parameters we can write the expression of magnetic field. The expression of magnetic field or magnetic field strength at due to the point of current element, due to the small element. So that will write here. So dB is directly proportional to the current I, and dl and sine theta, and inversely proportional to the r square. Inversely proportional to the r square. So now to remove this proportionality constant, we have to introduce one proportionality constant, that is, we'll write k. The proportionality constant will take, that is k. dV is equals to k into I dl sine theta divided by r square. So k will write mu naught divided by 4 pi. Mu naught divided by 4 pi. What is the mu naught? Mu naught is the absolute permeability of free space. Absolute permeability of a free space. Right here, mu naught is absolute permeability of free space. So here we can write the expression of dV now. dV is equals to the magnitude of magnetic field is equals to the mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl sine of theta divided by r square. So what is the SI unit of magnetic field? We can write the SI unit of the magnetic field is a Tesla. Tesla is the magnetic field SI unit. So what is the SI unit of this mu naught? Absolute permeability. So we can write that SI unit of permeability to deriving the expression. Here we can get the expression like this: 45 dB r square divided by IDL sine of theta. So here the dV is a Tesla and r square is a meter square, and divided by current is a ampere, and the next dl is a meter. So 1 meter 1 meter get cancelled, and what remains here? Tesla per ampere meter. Per ampere meter, this is the SI unit of this mu naught, absolute permeability. So this expression is the scalar form of Biot-Savart's law. Scalar form of Biot-Savart's law. Now we will find the vector form of Biot-Savart's law. To find the vector form of Biot-Savart's law, we should know the direction of magnetic field. We should know the direction of magnetic field. First we will see the direction of the magnetic field, the current carrying conductor. Here we will consider the infinite length of the wire, and then the current is moving in this direction. So to know the magnetic field direction, we should use the two rules. One is right hand thumb rule, or it may be called as palm rule, and another one is there, that is right hand screw rule. Right hand screw rule. So now here, take the conductor and hold that conductor in your hand. The thumb is gives the direction of the current, and next four fingers are there. These four fingers, if you give the curl motion of that fingers, then what will happen? Those direction of the curl is there, that is gives the direction of the magnetic field. So here we'll get a two directions. One is inward direction, another one is outward direction of the magnetic field. So here, if the current is moving in this direction, so the fingers are moving into the phase. So we'll take the, at this point the magnetic field is into the phase, inward of the data screen. So if we are going to find the magnetic field at this point, so same thing, the current is moving in this direction, and then curl fingers are moving into the phase here, and then it is coming out from the this phase. So here at this point the magnetic field is out of the phase. The magnetic field is out of the phase here. So this is the direction, how to see the direction of the magnetic field. So let us take now here the direction of the magnetic field. Use this direction of the magnetic field, we will find the vector form of the magnetic field. Sorry, Biot-Savart's law. So let us take here a current carrying conductor. The current is moving in this direction, and we are finding the magnetic field at this point. So let us draw the this is a current element. Sorry, this is a dl will take, and later we'll see the current, what is the current element, and then we'll draw a one of the position vector up to the point of P. We'll give here, this is a position vector r. So now the direction of the current is here. This is the direction of the current, and if you see the direction of the magnetic field, the magnetic field direction is inward. So therefore now here r is the one of the position vector, p with respect to the position p with respect to the dl, and here another one of the quantity is there, we are considering, or we are treating as a factor quantity, that is nothing but the dl. So how we are going to consider as a factor? Because the current is moving from this point to this point. It means the charges are moving from here to here. So therefore we can consider this is a one of the element, small element, that is nothing but the current element. Due to the direction of here, the current is moving from here to here, so we'll consider the dl is also a factor quantity. So idl is nothing but the current element. Idl is nothing but the current element. So what is the current element? A current element is a small portion of the conductor carrying a current, and it is written as dl, the vector dl, and it is a vector whose magnitude is dl and direction of the current. Direction is direction of the current. So we can call that is idl is a current element. Current element. So if we draw a current element direction here, then we will get the direction of the current element in this direction. So the current is in this direction, and then position vector is in this direction. So the magnetic field direction is, this is the magnetic field. So the magnetic field is direction is a perpendicular to the I vector, sorry, r vector and dl vector, r vector and dl vector. So therefore we'll use the magnitude of the magnetic field is equals to the mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl sine of theta divided by r square. So now we'll write the direction of the magnetic field here, the direction of the magnetic field, and we'll write in the form of vector. So here the factor of dv is equals to the, we can write, so this direction is considered as the unit factor. So that is nothing but the unit factor n. Will take here the dv is equals to the mu naught 4 phi, mu naught divided by 4 phi I dl sine of theta divided by r square. So into n cap. N cap is gives the direction of the magnetic field, and then this term is gives the magnitude of the data magnetic field. So now we will take the angle between these two vectors, that is the theta. So ideal and then r, position of the r gives the angle theta. So therefore the unit factor is written as in the form of, unit factor is written in the form of factor of n, factor of n divided by magnitude of this factor, magnitude of this factor. So what is the factor of n here? So here for this cross product, for example, we'll take a cross of b is equals to the unit vector, that is a c. So here this is the c, and now here the unit vector we can write, that is a is a ideal, a is ideal cross of r, cross of r divided by the magnitude of this n vector. We can write ideal r into sine of theta, r into sine of theta. So therefore we'll put this n cap value into the equation. So therefore the equation is becomes dv is equals to mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl sine of theta divided by r square into I dl cross of r divided by I dl r sine of theta. So here all these terms are going to be get cancelled. What remains? db, the factor of dv is equals to the mu naught divided by 4 pi I dl cross of r divided by r cube. So this is nothing but the factor form of this Biot-Savart's law. Factor form of Biot-Savart's law. So here we have studied the expression of the magnetic field by using the Biot-Savart's law, and then the vector form also we have studied, and using these expressions we'll see the some applications of Biot-Savart's law. So we can find the magnetic field, we can find applications of Biot-Savart's law. So here we can find the magnetic field at the center of the different shapes. For example, we can find the magnetic field for the square loop, so which is carrying the current here. It means how it is carrying the current, because I have taken a one battery here. So due to this battery, the current is flowing. So we'll remove the battery and then closed loop will get. So for the from this loop, for all the sides at the center, what is the magnetic field is going to produce. So we'll find, and then we can use another one of the loop. This is, so from this sides, what is the magnetic field is produced at the center we can find. Otherwise a rectangular we can use here. So here at the center, what the magnetic field is going to be produces, we'll find here. And otherwise you can get any shape of the, for example, circular shape of the loop at the center, what the magnetic field is going to produces. For all these shapes we can find the magnetic field by using this law, Biot-Savart's law. So in next class we'll discuss the applications of Biot-Savart's law. Okay, thank you.